going to talk to somebody now who is part of fantasy football in a big way. Looking forward to this interview as we have Colts running back Jonathan Taylor with us now. Jonathan, first of all, thanks for the time. Know you have a busy day and you got a busy season ahead. We're talking fantasy football, so we got to start there. Are you a fantasy football fan? Did you used to play? Were you involved?
And first of all, so in college, our running back teammate Garrett Groshek, he tried to get us to all join this fantasy league, and I heard you guys talking earlier. It was pretty tough to kind of maintain that consistency, especially when you're preparing each week for a game. But I tried to dabble in it a little bit in college, but it was just all for fun.
So now that you're in the pros, we always hear guys talk about it, and some of my friends that have played in the league always say I play real sports, not fantasy ones. Are there actual fantasy leagues going on from NFL teams?
I believe so. I believe that there are a lot of people who are in tune to fantasy football. I mean, especially if they were brought up playing or watching their parents or brothers or cousins have fantasy football leagues. And that's just something that I never really got introduced to until college. So it was kind of hard for me to catch the groove because, like I said, I was preparing each week for games.
Jonathan, you probably just heard us talking a little bit about trash talking, and I'm all for it. I'm going to talk trash talk Fitz the whole rest of the show about how I can beat him at anything, even though I probably can't. And he says he doesn't do it as much because then it comes back around and bites you sometimes in the backside when you trash talk and doesn't pay off. Where are you with the trash talking, whether it's on the field, in games, in the locker room? Are you a trash talker?
One thing about trash talk, if you're going to do it, you better be prepared to win every single time. So I like to go out there just prepared, focused in order to come out with the win every single time. But if you are a guy who likes to trash talk, just make sure you can come out with the dub every time.
See, that's the problem, Jonathan. I'm a Raiders fan. My team doesn't usually come out with the dub. It's been a long time.
You learned the hard way.
So Kelsey and I both work a lot in college football. We both loved watching you at Wisconsin. I think it's funny or interesting. You guys drafted Kwity Paye out of Michigan this year. So, is there in the world of trash talking, we got a Michigan-Wisconsin sort of wager going on? Any Big Ten bets going out there?
I definitely did talk to Kwity about, especially the few times that we played each other. And in the future games coming up, I'm going to take my guys every time. I love those guys back at Wisconsin, and I know they'll be prepared this season and ready to take on Michigan.
Jonathan, I want to talk a little football with you, too, as you get ready for season 2 and had an outstanding last year, really hit your stride down the stretch and did incredible things. How are you feeling as you get ready for your second year?
I'm feeling really great. They're just as having the offseason that I've had this year compared to last year, which was really hectic. This has been really, really fun, especially getting a lot of reps in, coming in OTAs, now having a real training camp. I mean, it's just been really, really gratifying to realize that, hey, I'm finally going through what my first season should have been like. And a lot of people are saying it's my first year. But I'm really excited going into this year, especially after this offseason.
I think that's interesting, Jonathan. We don't talk a lot about the human element of the adjustment. You're a pro, suddenly you live in a totally different place, and now last year you guys had COVID, you didn't get anything normal. What was the toughest part of just adjusting to being a pro in your rookie year?
One of the hardest things I would definitely say was translating everything that you learned virtually onto the field 100 miles an hour. Normally you'll go over things in the meetings, and then you'll go through a walkthrough, and then you'll have practice. But it was just, hey, we got to learn everything virtually. You got to learn what to do. And then, okay, we're going to come in for training camp, and it's time to get it done. So being able to adjust rapidly to those kind of things was definitely one of the toughest things.
Jonathan, every year and every season and every team is different, and last year was certainly more different than any other season. But we've heard from players all across college and the NFL just about the camaraderie that came from what you guys went through and all the time you spent together. What's something that you learned about maybe your teammates or the organization through some of those trials last year with COVID?
Really, one thing that I learned is you learn a lot about how people handle adversity. I mean, you have a ton of protocol. You have testing you have to do every single day. You got to make sure you give yourself an allotted amount of time to get the results back, still have time to prep. So you really find out, how tough guys mentally are. And I'm grateful that, I'm with the Indianapolis Colts because everyone in this building is super mentally tough.
Jonathan, real quick, I mean, you want to let us know, Carson Wentz, Quentin Nelson, I mean, you want to tip anybody off on anything to expect? I mean, we got to ask.
Yeah, those two guys are great players. I mean, you guys saw Quentin last year. I mean, this guy, he's a bull in the ring, and Carson is super, super smart. I mean, it's just amazing. I can't wait to see those two guys out there. I can't wait to have those guys balling out and doing what they do best, is being great football players.
Fitz tried to get you to break the news, and you said all of the good and right things there, Jonathan.
That's why you're a pro, man. That's why you're a pro.
Exactly. Thanks so much for the time. Good luck this season.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.